This is the Sunshine Coast Mark and Caroline on 92.7 Mix FM.
The Sunshine Coast lifesaving community is in shock after the news Ironman legend Dean Mercer died after a cardiac arrest early yesterday morning. Joining us now is a long-time training partner, a long-term friend, Rhys Drury. Rhys, it's a really tough day for you today, mate.
Yeah, it's slowly starting to sink in, Mark. It's just a really, really sad time when someone's taken so sudden and so early. It's just really, really sad.
Now, you grew up with Dean and Darren, didn't you? You're actually a Thurrool boy as well.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to grow up in Thurrool. My whole family's still down there. So I was fortunate enough to get involved with Thurrool Surf Club when I was 9 and end up training with Dean and Darren for pretty much my whole career. And
because then you moved to the Sunshine Coast together, is that right?
Yeah, roughly around the same time. Darren moved up first, and then within 6 months I was up here, and then another 6 months after that, Dino was up here on the sunny coast, and we all ended up here as well, and continued to train together at Mooloolaba Surf Club. So I've spent a lot of time with Dino, and like you said, growing up with him. So it's pretty hard.
Was it one of those things that you guys were training together but kind of like trying to beat each other the whole time, but at the same time still very strong friends?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously Dean and Darren were just that little bit older than me. They were my childhood heroes. So I spent all my early years just chasing them. I'm just chasing little Dino, and anyone you talk about knows how hard Dean used to train. Yeah. So that just embedded into me how hard you had to work to do the sport. But in saying that, they took me under their wing as well, and I ended up having to race them at that higher level. But and Dino was ruthless, but we were always had that mateship. That's for sure.
Yeah,
he always seemed so composed and friendly, even when the pressure was on as well.
Yeah, he was just the ultimate professional. Yeah. Like he knew that he'd done all the hard work, and he knew that he'd done all the training, and they'd be lucky to anyone out there who would have done the work. So when he put his foot on the line, he could relax. He could because he had confidence in his ability, and he believed he was the best.
And I think he was happy to have that great big smile psych you out too, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You look at all the greats. They're always smiling at you and just rubbing it in. But he was definitely such a competitor.
Yeah, such a beautiful guy. Hey, so he's such a young man though. Did he have heart problems in the family? Like, do you think he just trained himself out? What do you reckon? What's your gut feeling?
I don't know. It's one of those things where you realise how hard Dean pushed himself all those years. I don't know what had been going on the last little while, whether he had any health issues. I'm not sure, but
sure.
There's always those questions asked because being endurance athletes, we do push ourselves, and Dino pushed himself to the ultimate. But that's all speculate. You just don't know.
Absolutely, you don't know. But I'm sure that a lot of people are asking the question this morning because such a fit young man. But I guess now the concentration is just on Rhys and those beautiful boys, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the other hard. 4 young kids, all under the age of, I think we're all, Braden's only about, 13, so, and they're all under that age. So that's the hard thing. And I know his mum and dad and brother and sister, they were just such a close-knit family. And everyone's just reeling in it today. It's going to be really hard, but like you said, we just need to rally and make sure that those boys and the family are okay. And I'm sure that'll happen. The surf life-saving community and Ironman guys are a close-knit bunch, and we'll rally around Rhys and the boys and make sure they're okay.
And tell me, Rhys, how do you think Dean would want to be remembered?
I think he'd just want to be remembered as, as a man, 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 how he was, how he raced, just this gritty champion, the guy that was the smallest but worked the hardest, and he never, ever, ever, ever gave in. And I know yesterday would have been the same when, he would have fought the whole time. And I think he'll be remembered for that. And he was a good guy. At the end of the day, Dino was a ruthless competitor and a champion, but he was such a good guy, and that's how he'll be remembered. And, I've got a lot of memories of him being that good guy. So he'll be remembered for a lot of good things.
Hey, Rhys, we really appreciate your time this morning, mate. We know it's a very tough time, very emotional time for you, and really, really appreciate your thoughts.
No, my pleasure, guys. And, my thoughts and that are with all the Mercer family, and I know they're really appreciating all the support that's around the world and the community are giving them. So, thank you.
Mark and Caroline for breakfast. 92.7 Mix FM.